So in this video, I'm going to go over the 3 skills that I see a lot of students struggle with. I'll go over how do you identify them, how do you know what is the issue or not, what does it look like, and how you can start building it. So just let you know who I am. I run operations at my family's academy, and I see these same patterns over and over again. I also was in the system myself, so I lived through what your kid went through. So let's get into the very first one, which is task initiation. This is one that I struggled with a lot during school, and it usually looks like this. Whenever you ask them to be able to do something, they tell you, hey, I'll do it later. It never ends up getting done. Or secondly, you ask them to do it and they are wandering around doing almost anything else other than actually doing it. And then thirdly, you literally have to sit down next to them and start the very first problem with them so that they can keep on moving forward. But there's also a very clear difference between task initiation and sustained attention. Task initiation is just being able to start the task, while sustained attention is being able to stick with the task after they start. I'm going to be going into more videos about it in the future though. Now, the biggest way that you build specifically task initiation is you want to start with super small baby steps. The smaller the step, the better. I'm saying walk into your room, open up your backpack, grab your book, put your book on your desk, open up the book, and what you want to do is have a bunch of little check marks and you go through and check each one when they're finished. And you want to first do this with them so they get used to this. Now, secondly, emotional regulation. Emotional regulation is the ability for the child to be able to calm themselves down when they feel feelings coming up, to be able to work through it and calm down in that moment. It's a very big skill that's super important. And what it usually looks like is firstly, they melt down over small little things, they shut down and they close off, or they just say they don't care about school. The tricky one about number 3 is when they say they don't care, a lot of times it's not really true. It's more like they've tried, they've given effort, and their effort really hasn't turned into anything. So it's way easier to say I don't care than say I tried and I failed. So a lot of times it's simply just a shield. The biggest thing that will help specifically emotional regulation is this. You ask your child to put their hand on their stomach, and then from there you have them breathe in for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and then breathe in for 4 seconds, and then out for 4 seconds. And you consistently do this every single day. But the important part, you do this when things are calm, because they will not be able to do this when they're melting down. It needs to be second nature for them. So almost every day you need to practice specifically this one technique, breathing in and out, so that they can notice their feelings and manage them in that moment. Now we're getting into working memory. Working memory is the ability to be able to hold multiple things in their head at once and be able to act on it. So for example, this looks like you say, hey, I want you to do these 3 things, and only one of those things gets finished. That is usually a working memory issue. Another way to be able to tell if it's working memory is, do they finish their homework and never actually turn it into the teacher? That is a big reason, because they never follow through because of the steps. Lastly, they lose almost everything. Their notebooks, their water bottle, their jacket, it doesn't matter, everything is lost. Now, the best way to be able to fix this is by externalizing everything. It's like having something like this, which is a whiteboard, so you know exactly what's going on, and it's everywhere. I have it everywhere for myself because it's one of the best ways for me to keep on track. You externalize it with to-do list, and you continue to reinforce that over and over again so that they don't have to keep everything in their brain, because that's the hardest thing, especially when they have deadlines and multiple classes that they need to keep track of. Now the most important part is scaffolding, and what I mean by that is you want to set them up and start helping them out with this. For task initiation, you give them a list of very small steps when they get back home to be able to check off. For emotional regulation, you walk them through it multiple times. For working memory, you walk them through externalizing things, and you externalize all their homework on a whiteboard, and you just keep on doing it until they can start doing it for themselves. Then you start removing that scaffolding, and it will stand strong. They'll be independent. They'll be able to get their work done, because the beautiful part of this is once they have these skills, they keep up with it, because every time they finish their homework, every time they externalize and get something done, it reinforces the identity that they can get almost anything done if they just focus and do their best at it. And that's the beauty of all these 3 skills, is once you really reinforce one, you can work on the second one. And this gets to my second point. You really want to focus and prioritize on the one skill that makes it best for you, the parent, and your child. Because if you try to fix everything at once, nothing is going to matter. You got to think about what would help your child the most at school, what would give you less stress, and really think about it deeply so that you can focus on something that's going to alleviate both you and your child's life so they can be more successful and there's less stress and more things actually get done. So all you have to do is watch these patterns, see what's going on, find that one bottleneck, and then once you've solved that one bottleneck, you can solve the next one and the next one till eventually school is second nature for them because they have the systems that you created for them. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I'd love for you to leave a like, and thank you so much for watching.